I'm not mad at it.
In a city where the average rent price is $3,000 to $4,000 a month, sleeping in a pod for $700 a month is a deal.
I was living in the Presidio before and kind of looking for cheaper options just so I could keep working on the stuff I wanted to and working on open source projects.
The majority of people who live here have the same goal: build a tech startup and make it big. So paying high rent prices is not part of the equation. But after this housing concept went viral in 2023, many here were at risk of losing their housing because the city said the people running it didn't have the right permit. The company that runs the pods, we got a look inside the building, a place he said almost didn't survive because of how long the permitting process took in San Francisco.
So rent across the U.S. has been skyrocketing for I don't know how long. It seems like the last 2 or 3 years. So, I mean, this to me seems like the most plausible option. I mean, it's, was it like dorms for adults? Is kind of how I see it, dorms for adults.
Yeah, except the dungeons. I mean, this looks like a person with claustrophobia's worst nightmare. Like, literally, it's a brick dungeon. I couldn't. It's like a jail cell. It's like a jail cell.
You couldn't do it?
Heck no, I couldn't do that.
I mean, listen, if I really had to do it, I could probably do it. But I'm one of those people, I don't like being home anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's probably why. If I was a person where I really liked being inside my house and staying home, then yeah, I probably couldn't stand it.
Fair enough. You would just go there and just lay there and go to sleep and wake up and leave.
And then leave.
Not me, man. I'm a little bit of a bougie guy. I'm gonna be honest. I will tell you this. One time I went to California. This reminds me of the time I stayed in California, in Hollywood. This was like 2016. Me and a friend of mine, we were thinking about buying a space and turning it into a hostel, like an upscale hostel. And there's a place in Hollywood, California that they did that. So we're like, hey, whatever. We've never been there before. Let's go. Or he might have been there. I don't know. Went to Hollywood, stayed in the hostel. It was like a 30 by 30 foot space. Had like a recording studio in there. The perimeter was lined with bunk beds. Had like a kitchen, lockers, whatever. And some of the people that were there, they stayed there long term. I don't think it was really meant for that.
Yeah.
But some of them did that. Okay, that I can kind of see. I can get down with that for a little while. But to sleep in a cylinder block dungeon like Count Dracula, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And a lot of people there were hipsters too. You know how it is, the hipster crowd. But people like this, like the guy said, one of the guys in the video said that he was doing it because he was trying to work at a startup.
Yeah, startup. Yeah, they're tech guys.
They're tech guys.
Yeah.
That's not the same type of group as hipsters. So they're just getting down and dirty trying to make something happen. So shout out to them. But
yeah, I mean, I just see this being like the new wave in America just because it seems like most people can't afford to buy a house.
Yeah, that's facts.
Apartments are kind of like mortgages now. They're like, what, $2,000? And I'm starting to see that like across different states that I'm like, people don't even make that.
That's facts. That's true. And they were saying, what did they say in the video? 3,000 to 4,000 for what? San Francisco, I think was what they said?
Yeah,
on
I
average,
mean,
which doesn't seem even that high to me for San Francisco. But
oh yeah, it is New York. I mean, California. I mean, it's pretty much the same New York, to be honest.
But you had a point. You were saying, yeah, house prices are rising, rents rising. So you're saying this is something that just seems like a natural thing?
Yeah, it just seems like a natural occurrence because as a single person, if you're a single person, you're making average money. I mean, what else can you do? If you're making $40,000 and your rent's $2,000, I mean, they said the rent's $3K, but I'm just saying in general, like all across the board, the rent's like $2K, and you're making like $40K. And do you have a car? If you have a car, and then groceries, and then you probably have student loan, other bills and stuff like that. That's hard on an average salary.
Absolutely.
And those things are not changing. Average salary, and even when average salary does change, it might be even harder.
Yeah.
So,
okay. No, you're right. Now, if you're making $40,000 a year, you don't belong anywhere near California, or at least you don't belong anywhere near San Francisco. You have no business being in San Francisco if you make $40,000 a year. And this is no shade to anybody, because like you just can't survive. You're not meant to be there. You need more money. You have an income problem. If you're making $40K in San Francisco, you need to do something different. Maybe you should go to Montana or something. I guess I don't know if Montana is expensive or not. But yeah, listen. But you know what though? I take that back. You don't have to do that. You can do what these guys do. Pay $700 to sleep in a jail cell. You could, and that way you could afford it, you know?
Yeah, I mean but that just goes to show you how important location is. Because the only reason why they're doing it is because it is San Francisco, which San Francisco isn't really San Francisco now. So I would tell them to probably go somewhere else.
Yeah, go to Austin. What's the new places now?
Yeah, they even said that. Yeah, it's Austin. Florida's big now.
Yeah.
I mean, not for tech, but just Texas, Florida, Nevada are the main places that everybody's moving to, and I think some people are going to Arizona.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about the prices in Arizona.
I think Arizona's an expensive market, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, long story short, like you said, this is literally supply and demand on steroids. If you live in a coastal city, this is what it is. DC, New York, Miami, San Diego, San Francisco, up in Washington.
You talking about like Seattle?
Seattle.
Okay.
You live in these coastal cities, this is what it's for. This is what it is. And so you have to find a way to make it work. This is kind of what it is. So, yeah.
Damn, I'm not mad at it. So ultimately, guys, I'm going to say that this is a good decision. Because they'll be smart with their money.
Fair enough. If you are open, I hear you. If you live a super transient lifestyle, or you're just a communal person and you just don't need much, and you're not bougie like me, and you're cool with just a pillow and some cinder blocks, hey, cool. And if you really know you have a mission, you're there and you know what you're there for, you're working for a startup, you see the vision, I'm not mad at you at all. But for this to be the new thing, no.
Well, you wouldn't pull up. You wouldn't hang out with me if I lived in a cinder block, or
we can meet at a coffee shop or something. Chat it up. You can go back to your cinder block.
Dang, that's crazy.
I'll go live in like a tiny home or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, decision makers. If you think it's a good decision, leave a like, leave a comment. If you think it's a bad decision and it's too small, leave a like, leave a comment. All right, decision makers, go find cheap rent.